Hello and welcome to A Cook Back in Time. Today's recipes come from the Tudor period, a time when Henry VIII married, divorced or executed his 6 wives and abolished the Roman Catholic Church. Elizabeth I's navy fought off the Spanish Armada, and a rich wool merchant called John Clopton decided to build a beautiful home for his family here at Kentwell Hall in Suffolk. On today's programme we get a guided tour of a typical 16th century stately home, and we're going to prepare an original Tudor recipe in surroundings which literally will take our cook, Maureen Poole, back in time. So if you're looking for something a little different for a dinner party, why not try a liverings pudding, chicken with orange sauce, Tudor salad and tart of almonds. The first Tudor, Henry VII, came to the throne in 1485 when medieval England was virtually bankrupt after 30 years of civil war. It mattered little in Europe in commerce, diplomacy or battle. In just over a century, the brilliant Tudors had revitalised their kingdom to become the envy of the world. Efficient and continuous government released the nation's energies to create wealth. Ocean-going ships were built and explorers sent out to navigate and bring back treasures and trade from the New World. The wool and cloth industries prospered, and in this settled age, the skill of the finest craftsmen was poured into a new art form, the making of beautiful houses. This wonderful example of Tudor architecture has been so lovingly restored it could be a museum, but it's actually a home to Judith and Patrick Phillips. They bought it 30 years ago when it was practically ruined, and they've spent the years lovingly restoring it to its former Tudor splendour. Judith and Patrick, it must be many people's dream to live in a house like this. How did the dream come about?
Well, it's to do with the fact that I wanted to find somewhere that would occupy me for the rest of my life in bringing it to be what I would like it to be and do all the things I want to do, so it was going to be a lifetime's project.
You have some lovely paintings in here. How do you acquire them?
A traditional role of country houses was to commission living artists rather than always be predators at the auction sales.
Yeah, so we have our own in-house painter, who's Paul Dufosi, who paints murals for us, he paints pictures for us. He's the most talented painter imaginable because he can paint in any style, in any type.
And he's painted you both, hasn't he, as master and mistress of the house?
I hope you'll be able to recognise us, but I have to say that it was not yesterday.
What features in the room? And there's so many, but what are your favourite features?
Well, the glass is lovely. It's a variety of different glasses, but some of it dates fragments French, 1425. There's some English 14th century, one of the earlier paintings of English glass. The scale of the room, it's got a marvellous acoustic. I'd asked Judith to sing because she would not ask me to sing, but it has a fantastic acoustic. It's a very friendly room. It's light, as you can see now, as we've had it decorated, and then we've just added in all sorts of things that we like around it as we've generally acquired them.
Oh, this is an impressive room. What would this have been originally?
Well, originally it would have actually been 3 rooms. It had a corridor down the centre with a buttery one side, a pantry the other side, and a service area, so it was divided horizontally as well. And that incorporated a staircase as well, so it was quite a sort of complex area.
Tell me about the fireplace.
Well, the fireplace is a copy of the one in the Bishop's Palace in Exeter, which is a very much copied fireplace, but it's very, very handsome. And obviously dominates this room, but still fits in with it. And the more elaborate we've made the room, we still haven't managed to dwarf the fireplace.
Whose are the coats of arms?
Well, the one on the left is the Clopton family who built the house and therefore created the original structure of this room. The one on the right is Hart Logan, who altered the room in the early 19th century. And there's a space left in the middle for somebody else who may have had an influence upon the room.
Well,
who may say?
I know one of the greatest treasures is in this room, and it's this rather simple pewter plate.
Yes, it's in fact worth nothing, but it's a very great treasure for us because we found this plate in the moat. The coats of arms are the Simon's Jew's coat of arms, the bridegroom's arms on the left-hand side, and the Clopton coat of arms on the right. This was probably a wedding plate when Anne Clopton, who was the last of the Cloptons, married Sir Simon Stews, and it was probably one of a set of either 12 or 24 that they would have been given. In 1626? In 1626, yes. So it goes right back to the early 17th century. Amazing.
This has been magic for me. I love history, old paintings, your tapestries, your furniture. Was there a lot here when you bought the hall?
No, the house was completely barren of anything except for some pelmets, and we've collected things over the years.
Really?
We collected things which will fit in here, which we can use, 16th century style things, more than genuine things, which we wouldn't be able to use because they'd be too valuable.
And of course, we can then use them for our recreation activities as well, and that's very important to us. We invite the public to come and see what life was actually like here in the Tudor times, and we have thousands of school children coming for that purpose as well. So it's very important that we can use all the things in the house.
Well, I've got to go and see the Tudor kitchen at work. Could I ask you to join us for a meal later?
Delighted to.
Well, here we are in Judith and Patrick's Tudor kitchen, complete with Tudor cook. Maureen, you're dressed in authentic garb.
Yes, this is what I wear for the annual recreations of Tudor life that we have here every year.
And you are a genuine cook, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Have you made a study of Tudor cookery?
Yes, well, you have to if you're working at Kentwell, because we like to make everything as authentic as we possibly can.
How authentic is this kitchen?
Oh, about as authentic as you'll get, I think. We've got the great fire, we've got ovens, we've got charcoal stoves yonder. I think everything that would have been found in a 16th century kitchen is here.
What are you going to cook for us now?
Well, we're going to start with liverings pudding,
What's
which
that?
is a sort of terrine made from liver thickened with breadcrumbs with spices. Well, I've got some liver here which I've cut into small pieces, and I'm going to take it over to the charcoal fires and fry it. When it's all fried, we take it back and we start to chop it up. And then we add spices and a little salt and some breadcrumbs to thicken it.
You mentioned spices. Well, what spices?
Well, we've got ground nutmeg, black pepper, and rather oddly, currants.
Now, spices must have been expensive.
Oh, they were, yes.
I mean, I've even seen little individual silver nutmeg holders and graters. Would they have been kept by the housekeeper or lady?
I believe the lady of the house would have her own grater and grate it onto her food. She wouldn't let everybody have it. It was too expensive.
And I presume the poor would not have afforded this.
No.
This was really for the affluent.
This is definitely for the rich. This has got to be chopped quite small so that the texture will be like that of a terrine.
Because, of course, there were no mincers in those days.
I'm afraid not. Everything was done by hand.
Probably tasted
chopped.
better too.
I don't know about that. Probably tasted a bit mucky from dirty fingers.
Are these the sort of bowls they would have used? They'd have been terracotta bowls?
Yes, they would be terracotta pottery, probably made on the estate. Mm-hmm. Now I've got to put some eggs in, a couple of eggs.
Stir with a knife, stir up strife.
Ah, yes, but unfortunately Tudors hadn't got any forks.
Ah.
They were a rather flash Italian invention and they haven't come in yet.
Oh, I see.
So, how can you pick food up on a prong? Ridiculous.
Of course, the Georgians had two-pronged forks, didn't they?
Yes.
You tried picking peas up with those.
Impossible, I should think. Right, now I'm going to put the nutmeg in. And about a teaspoonful of black pepper.
That's come round again too, hasn't it? We grind our pepper today after
Yes.
years and years of that dreadful
Awful
powdery stuff that
white
made you
stuff,
sneeze.
yes. And then a little bit of salt. That was another expensive commodity in Tudor times. Mm-hmm. Mix that all up.
Similar to the way one would make a terrine today.
Very similar, yes. Some things haven't altered, but it's thickened with breadcrumbs. Mm-hmm. And the final thing to go in is the currants.
Maureen, I once read that the Elizabethans, the Tudors, used a lot of fruit to disguise the rotten meat. Was that true or apocryphal?
Well, I think it's apocryphal personally because fashions in Tudor cooking changed tremendously. At the beginning of the Tudor period, they used a tremendous amount of spices, a great deal of spices, which is usually held to disguise the flavour of tainted meat. But Towards the end of the period, they were using far less in the way of spices, but refrigeration methods hadn't improved. The methods of keeping food hadn't improved. So why? I think it's just fashion, pure fashion. Right, so that's now ready to go into the oven.
All right. Why the 2 ovens?
Largely so that you can have 2 different temperatures.
How long will that cook for?
That'll be in about an hour.
Well, there we are. And the bay leaves just add that little touch of colour.
Yes, they
It's
look
lovely.
good. And the bay leaves remind me, I'm going to make a salad to go with the chicken and orange. So do you think you could go out into the garden in all this weather and pick me some salad things?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
This is our herb garden. I'm sorry that it's raining as it is, but we've got so many things here to show you.
It's massive. Judith, I've never seen a herb garden like it.
Well, this is sweet cecily, and we've got some more that's slightly further advanced over there, which has a lovely sort of aniseed flavour. So you need some of
What's
that.
this yellow stuff?
This yellow stuff is woad. Now this is part of the medicinal and household side. So in fact, woad is a plant that's used for dyeing. So in fact, this is a dyer's herb, and it's the leaves that give off the colour. This will actually be harvested this weekend, and it spreads like anything, so it grows actually everywhere over the garden, and we then pull it up and use the leaves for making a dye.
Are all the herbs in here what one would have found in Tudor times?
Oh yes, yes, we've got over 160 varieties of herb here, which all would have been found in Tudor times. We have got things like salad bonnet, which is this little one down here.
Oh, I've got to look for that too.
All right.
I'll pick some afterwards.
All right. And we've got things like Good King Henry, which obviously sounds a very Tudor thing, and I'm sure is to do with that.
Judith, excuse me, I thought I saw Love in a Mist over there. I didn't think you could eat that.
Well, Love in the Mist has a way of growing, and we allow it to grow because in Tudor times the seed pod was much used.
Oh?
Well, what happened was that the young maids would take the seed pod, break it open and rub it on their nipples, and they would become rosy, ripe nipples, and obviously the young men like that. And so we do tend to allow it to grow rather rampant here.
I think I got all the salad herbs that you wanted.
Oh, that's
Okay.
lovely. Yes, thank you. If you just
Pretty.
put them over there, aren't they? Well, while you were out, I put the chicken on to boil. Seething is what they called it in Tudor times. I've got to have some stock for that, so that goes into the sauce first of all.
How long will it take over the fire?
Well, a Tudor chicken would probably take several hours because they'd be on the tough side.
So really the taste, I suppose, comes from the sauce, does it?
Yes, it does.
What are the ingredients?
Well, these are Seville oranges. The juice of the oranges goes into the pot with 3 legs.
So what are our other ingredients?
There are prunes, currants, ginger and cinnamon, and some white wine, which I'm going to pour in. All these things go into the pot straight away. Prunes, currants and a sprig of rosemary, cinnamon and ginger.
How much stock is in there?
Oh, about half a pint, and about half a pint of white wine also.
It really was the preserve of the rich, wasn't it?
It really was, yes. All these things would have been imported.
Sugar? Is that? That's not
No,
breadcrumbs.
no,
again.
that's more breadcrumbs,
Oh.
yes. It was the only way, that and eggs were the only way they had of thickening sauces. So lots of sauces were thickened with breadcrumbs.
What would the poor have eaten if they weren't eating this kind of thing?
The poor would eat almost universally pottage, which is a sort of thick vegetable stew with beans, peas, whatever. If they can get a piece of bacon or a bone to put in, so much the better. But generally speaking, it would be a vegetarian sort of stew, although they didn't know the word vegetarian.
And that one goes on the
This
charcoal?
goes on the charcoal fire. Which will need bellowing up a bit.
Is that hot enough now?
More or less, yes. Now this is called a posnet, this pot with 3 legs, and
From your voice then, it sounded heavy.
It is. It's made of solid brass.
That isn't Tudor, is it?
Well, it's reproduction, but it was.
But that's what they would have cooked in.
Yes, and that will simmer away until the prunes have absorbed a lot of the moisture, and it's become quite a thick sauce.
Well, it may not look very appetising, but the aroma, it's like mulled wine and Christmas punch, and it's thickened up
Christmas
nicely.
pudding. Yes, it needs just a little bit of breadcrumb in it to give it a little bit of cohesion.
That's healthier than flour. And a stir.
Yes, and a stir.
Well, that's the finished article. It's thickened up beautifully, and the smell reminds me of Christmas. Well, it's got all those.
It's got all those ingredients, hasn't it? Yes.
Can't wait for that.
Right, now I'm going to put it onto the chicken, which, as you'll see, is sitting on sippets of bread. The idea of those is that they soak up the sauce so that you get a little more for your money, really. You get the extra flavour of those. Now we need to coat the chicken completely in that.
And there we have our authentic, what's it called?
It's chicken after the manner of Mistress Duffield. I don't know who Mistress Duffield was, but she cooked a mean chicken.
And now we come to the dessert.
Yes, that's an almond tart. Loads of almonds were used in Tudor times, and this one contains about half a pint of cream and about 5 ounces of ground almonds.
And how did we know about all these recipes?
Oh, well, ladies would go to dinner with friends. They would eat a dish that they really enjoyed, ask for the recipe, take it back to their own cook. And quite often they would write them down for their future reference.
And of course, the cooks wouldn't have been able to read, would they?
They were mostly illiterate, but they would have wonderful memories and remember everything that went in. Then there's some rose water to go in, about 1.5 tablespoons.
And that would have been made here on the estate?
Yes, that would be made in the still room. And then some sugar.
Out of just water
Roses and water, yes, and distilled. And about a generous tablespoonful of sugar. And then it's stirred all together and put into a pastry case which has been baked blind.
What does that mean?
Well, it means it's baked without anything in it, so that the bottom stays nice and crisp and doesn't go soggy.
And I think you had a funny name for the pastry case.
Oh, yes, Tudor people called it a coffin.
Why?
Well, you put things in it, I suppose.
Oh, dear.
Not bodies in this case, but anything that goes that is a container would be called a coffin.
And how long will you cook that for?
Well, it doesn't need very much, really, just to brown it on the top. It's a very simple dish, in fact, but very agreeable. Tastes very pleasantly of roses.
Now, not only are you a Tudor cook, but you speak in the Tudor language.
Aye, indeed, a little. For all who work upon the manor of Kentwell must do so that those that come and visit with us may see and hear how it was in Tudor times. Now I must place this within the oven.
How do you judge the right temperature in an oven like that?
Well, in truth, there is no way but to put your hand within to see if it be hot enough or not. And when your hand can no longer stand the heat, then you must withdraw it. And some do say that you must keep your hand in until the hairs burn off it. But I think you could only do that once. The heat of the oven is not so very great, and it will cook in mayhap half an hour.
Well, Maureen, you must have got the temperature right. It looks delicious, and you've decorated it so beautifully.
Yes, a rose, of course, and the ferny-looking thing is sweet Cecily.
What does that taste of?
Well, it tastes of aniseed. It's very, very pleasant.
Maureen, thank you for all your hard work. I must now go and invite the master and mistress of the house to partake of their own food. Thank you. This liverings pudding is absolutely delicious. Is this our first course?
It's a dish in a course. A course in Tudor period isn't really a concept which is recognised, but we would today use the term sort of courses, but then they call them removes. And in every single remove, you'd have a great variety of dishes. And you use one plate, and you have each of these in series, one after the other. If you're slow eating, you pile them all up. If you quick eat, you then wait for the next one. If you don't like what's coming or what's just been, you use the voiding dish over here to get rid of what you don't like. So you have a clean plate if you want a clean plate. But what you don't do is have a different plate for every single dish.
Would you like to cut into the chicken,
Yes,
please?
in the way that people get used to seeing it done on films, which is quite unrealistic, is people just dig in.
Yes.
But in fact, carvers would be carving this, and they would be very skilled. And I am not representing a Tudor carver. I'm representing the man that you see in the films doing it, which is just to take off a great big hunk like that and use your fingers, which is very Tudor, using the fingers, much better than
thank you.
anything else. Now, there you are, you see. That's how we have to do it, but the Tudors would have carved that very nicely. Yes, forks were not used at that time because they hadn't been invented. They're a late 16th century invention, and most people spurned them to start with because putting a dirty piece of metal in your mouth was thought to be very unhygienic. After all, you know where your fingers have been. You don't know where this dirty piece of metal has been.
We have a rug on the table. Did they have tablecloths or this kind of rug?
Certainly. This is a table carpet because carpets were very valuable, and you would never think of putting a carpet on the floor as people do now, and they walk all over it. I mean, it's a coarse custom, of course, notably. They would have covered this with napery, which is a tablecloth.
This almond tart looked absolutely wonderful. Let's try it.
Really, really light, isn't it? You would imagine it to be actually quite heavy with the whole crust, but it's very light.
Heaven knows how many calories are in it, though. Judith and Patrick, I can't thank you enough. It's been fascinating. Thank you so much.
It's been a lovely day for us too.
Well, if you fancy a dinner party with a difference, perhaps a visit to the 16th century kitchen and a glimpse at Tudor life might inspire you to something new. Join us again for another Cook Back in Time.